The Silent Rebellion. Captain Sarah Chen stood at the viewport of mining station Delta 7, pretending to diligently monitor the massive excavators below as they tore into Earth's crust. The consortium's overseers, a collection of 3 dominant alien species who had graciously arrived to uplift humanity, expected nothing less from their human supervisors. But Sarah's attention was actually focused on the subtle reflection in the reinforced glass, carefully tracking the movements of the Arcturian observer behind her. The tall, silver-skinned being was making its weekly inspection, its 4 eyes methodically scanning the facility's efficiency reports. Like all Arcturians, it moved with an air of calculated superiority, their species' mastery of mathematics and probability having led them to conclude that humanity was little more than an interesting specimen to study and exploit. Production has increased 3.7% since last cycle, the Arcturian noted, its translator converting the musical tones into flat English. Adequate, though the Valerians expected 4%. We lost 2 days to seismic activity, Sarah replied carefully, keeping her voice neutral. The Valerians, massive crystalline beings who served as the consortium's engineers, had been pushing the mining operations harder every cycle, caring little for geological stability. The third species of their overlords, the biotechnology-focused Meridians, had at least attempted to stabilize the fault lines with their organic compounds. Not out of concern for Earth, of course, but to protect their precious research facilities scattered across the planet. Excuses are inefficient, the Arcturian dismissed. The consortium's calculations are perfect. Meet the quotas. Sarah bowed her head submissively, a gesture that hid the fierce gleam in her eyes. If only they knew what their precious human specimens had discovered. The truth that would shatter their perfect calculations. Later that night, deep beneath the ruins of old Seattle, Sarah made her way through a maze of abandoned subway tunnels. The Resistance had spent years expanding these networks, using the aliens' dismissal of primitive human infrastructure to their advantage. She finally reached a heavy blast door, passing through multiple security checkpoints before entering the heart of humanity's hidden rebellion. Report. General Marcus Rivera commanded from his position at the central planning table, surrounded by holographic displays stolen and modified from their overlords. The Arcturians are getting suspicious of the production delays, Sarah stated, joining the other cell leaders gathered around the table. But they haven't detected the real reason we're slowing things down. Dr. Elena Santos, their lead scientist, smiled grimly as she brought up a new hologram. They're so convinced of their own superiority that they never considered we'd be able to understand their technologies, let alone find their fatal flaw. The display showed 3 interlinked neural networks, the fundamental system that allowed the consortium species to maintain their vast empires across the galaxy. Each was built on living computer cores, organic technology that processed faster than any silicon-based system. Their greatest strength is their greatest vulnerability. Elena continued, all 3 species developed their neural networks in sterile environments, free from the viral and bacterial threats that shaped Earth's evolution. They have no concept of biological warfare on a microscopic scale. And that's where this comes in, Sarah added, placing a small vial on the table. Inside, a clear liquid seemed to shimmer with possibility. Every delay in the mining operations has been carefully calculated to give us time to seed the groundwater with Dr. Santos' creation, a virus engineered to target their biological computers while remaining harmless to humans. 3 months, General Rivera stated, studying the deployment map. That's how long until the virus reaches critical concentration in every major consortium facility on Earth. Their entire command and control structure will collapse simultaneously, and humanity's real technology will be revealed, Elena added, bringing up images of hidden facilities across the globe. Spacecraft combining the best elements of all 3 alien species tech, weapons that turned the consortium's own innovations against them, and most importantly, soldiers and civilians united in purpose, trained in secret for this moment. They thought they were uplifting us, Sarah said quietly, her voice carrying in the sudden silence. teaching us just enough to be useful servants. But humanity has always excelled at learning from our oppressors. The Arcturians calculate everything using pure logic, Rivera noted with grim satisfaction. The Valerians trust only in the perfection of their crystalline technology, and the Meridians believe their biological mastery makes them invincible. He looked around the room, meeting the eyes of each resistance leader. Not one of them accounted for human determination, for our capacity to endure, to adapt, and to wait for the perfect moment to strike. 3 months, Sarah repeated, her hand closing around the vial. 3 months until we show them exactly what humanity is capable of. The gathered leaders nodded solemnly. Humanity had spent 5 years under the consortium's rule, playing the part of obedient servants while gathering intelligence, stealing technology, and preparing for this moment. The aliens thought they had conquered a primitive species. Soon they would learn they had instead created their own worst nightmare, a humanity united against a common foe, armed with the best of human ingenuity and alien technology combined. The revolution was about to begin, and the galaxy would never be the same. The hidden arsenal. Deep within the Antarctic ice shelf, humanity's greatest secret took shape in a massive cavern melted smooth by stolen Valerian heat projectors. Commander James Chen, Sarah's brother, walked the length of the assembly floor, watching teams of engineers piece together what the Resistance called hybrid ships, vessels that combine technologies from all 3 consortium species in ways their creators had never imagined. Beautiful, ugly things, aren't they? Chief Engineer Maya Rodriguez appeared beside him, her dark eyes gleaming with pride as she watched her latest creation come together. The ship's hull was a patchwork of Valerian crystal matrices and Arcturian metal alloys, pulsing with the organic tech of Meridian power cores. The consortium would have collective fits if they saw how we've bastardized their precious pure technologies. As long as they fly and fight, James replied, studying the unusual configurations. Where alien ships were elegant and specialized, these were brutal and adaptable, designed by humans who had spent generations learning to make do with whatever they had available. Maya grinned, pulling up a holographic display of the ship's specifications. Oh, they'll do more than that. The Valerians think their crystalline tech can't interface with Arcturian systems. The Arcturians believe their mathematical models prove Meridian biotech would reject their metal alloys, and the Meridians are convinced their organic computers require their specific environmental conditions. She gestured at the ship. They're all wrong. Humanity's greatest strength isn't just our adaptability. It's our ability to see connections others miss. We've created something entirely new, something their rigid minds can't even conceive of. A warning klaxon echoed through the cavern, causing both of them to tense before recognizing the pattern. Incoming transport authorized. Minutes later, a cargo shuttle descended through the concealed entrance in the ice above, its hull covered in legitimately issued consortium transportation markings. Dr. William Nash, their head of operations, emerged from the shuttle with a satisfied expression. Another successful delivery, he announced, approaching James and Maya. The Arcturians are so focused on their mathematical efficiency models, they never notice that their inventory numbers don't quite add up. A few missing components here, some misplaced raw materials there. How many ships can we complete with this shipment? James asked, already calculating deployment schedules in his head, combined with our existing stockpile. Maya consulted her datapad. We can finish the entire first fleet, 15 capital ships and 40 support vessels, all crewed by personnel who've been training in virtual simulators for the past 2 years. James nodded slowly. The Resistance had been careful to select crew members who officially worked in consortium mining operations, people who could disappear into their normal shifts without raising suspicion. The aliens' own work rotation schedules provided the perfect cover for training their future opponents. The virus deployment is proceeding on schedule, Nash added, lowering his voice despite their secure location. Dr. Santos reports that preliminary tests are showing even better results than expected. The consortium's neural networks have no defense against it. When it activates, he smiled tightly. Well, let's just say their perfect communication systems will become their perfect nightmare. And the ground forces? James asked, though he already knew the answer. His sister Sarah had been coordinating that aspect of the operation. In position near every major consortium facility on Earth, Nash confirmed. The aliens' own population control measures work in our favor. They never question why humans live in concentrated areas around their installations. Makes it much easier to organize resistance cells. Maya's datapad chimed, displaying a message that made her eyes widen. Speaking of the virus, we just got word from our deep cover agents in the Meridian Biotech Division. They're planning to upgrade their neural network nodes in preparation for some kind of major announcement. They're going to broadcast it across their entire empire. James and Nash exchanged looks of shocked delight. They're going to distribute our virus for us, James said softly, across their own command and control network to every consortium facility in the galaxy. Sometimes, Maya mused, watching her engineers continue their work on the hybrid ships. I think the aliens' biggest mistake wasn't underestimating humanity's intelligence or our technology. It was underestimating our patience, our ability to take the long view. 5 years, Nash agreed. 5 years of playing the obedient servants, learning their technologies, finding their weaknesses. 5 years of preparation, all building to one perfect moment. James studied the growing fleet of hybrid ships, each one a testament to human ingenuity and determination. In the beginning, the Resistance had just hoped to free Earth. Now, thanks to the consortium's own arrogance, they had a chance to do so much more. Send word to all cells, he ordered. Operation Dawn is now on an accelerated timeline. We'll synchronize the virus deployment with their network upgrade and launch simultaneous strikes from every hidden base on Earth. He smiled grimly. It's time to show the galaxy that humanity is done being uplifted. We're ready to rise on our own. The Resistance leaders dispersed to their duties, each carrying a piece of humanity's future in their hands. Above them, visible through the ice, consortium ships moved across the sky in perfect formation, their crews never suspecting that their own stolen technology was about to be turned against them in ways they couldn't imagine. Humanity's hidden arsenal was almost ready. The countdown to revolution had begun. The breaking point. The consortium's grand announcement ceremony was everything their propaganda promised, a stunning display of alien technological superiority and interspecies cooperation. In the heart of New Geneva, their primary Earth administrative center, representatives from all 3 species gathered to celebrate what they called the Great Uplift. Dr. Elena Santos watched from her position among the human servants, carefully maintaining the expected expression of awe as the alien leaders took their places on the crystalline stage. The Arcturian high calculator's silver skin gleamed under the artificial lights, while the Valerian Prime's crystalline form scattered rainbow refractions across the assembled crowd. The Meridian Overmind's organic technology pulsed with bioluminescent patterns, its tentacles weaving complex patterns in the air. Today marks a new era in galactic civilization, the high calculator proclaimed, its mathematical certainty evident in every translated word. The success of the Human Uplift program proves the perfection of our unified approach. Earth's resources now serve the greater good, while its primitive species learns the benefits of proper guidance. Elena felt her hands clench behind her back, but kept her face carefully neutral. Around her, other disguised Resistance members did the same. They all wore neural dampeners, hidden beneath their skin, necessary protection against what was about to happen. Right on schedule, the Meridian Overmind began the network upgrade announcement. To commemorate this achievement, we are implementing an enhancement to our neural network protocols. All consortium facilities will now share a unified communication standard, bringing our species closer together than ever before. The calculations are perfect, the high calculator added. This upgrade will increase efficiency by 23.7% across all operations. The Valerian Prime's crystalline form chimed in harmony. Our technologies, once separate, now form an unbreakable foundation for future expansion. Elena watched the upgrade progress on her hidden display, disguised as a standard servant's monitoring device. The virus, hidden within the new protocols, was spreading faster than they dared hope. The aliens' own arrogance, their certainty in their technological superiority, made them blind to the trap they'd created for themselves. The first sign that something was wrong came from a junior Arcturian administrator, its silver skin suddenly clouding with confusion. "High Calculator, I'm detecting anomalies in the neural network." "Impossible," the High Calculator dismissed. "Our calculations are perfect." But more reports were coming in. Valerian crystals began to vibrate at irregular frequencies. Meridian biotech pulsed with unnatural patterns. The unified network, meant to be their greatest achievement, was becoming their greatest vulnerability. Elena gave the signal. Across the globe, resistance cells activated their stolen and modified alien technology. The hybrid ships, hidden in underground bases and orbital shadows, powered up their engines. And most importantly, the virus reached critical mass in the consortium's neural networks. The effect was devastating. The High Calculator staggered, its perfect mathematical certainty shattered by cascading errors. The Valerian Prime's crystalline form developed fracture patterns as its network connections failed. The Meridian Overmind's tentacles writhed in confusion as its biological processors began to break down. "This is impossible," the High Calculator insisted, its voice distorting. The calculations were perfect." "Your mistake," Elena announced, stepping forward as hidden weapons emerged from the crowd, "was thinking you could calculate human nature, that you could reduce us to numbers and probabilities." The alien leaders tried to call for help, but their neural networks were in chaos. Security forces received contradictory orders or no orders at all. Their perfect unified system had become a perfect unified failure. "Humanity," Elena continued, her voice carrying across the now silent chamber, "is not a mathematical equation to be solved. We are not crystal matrices to be programmed. We are not biological specimens to be modified. We are the product of millions of years of evolution on a world that taught us one supreme lesson: adapt or die." Emergency alarms began to sound, but it was too late. The Resistance's hybrid ships were emerging from hiding, their impossible combination of technologies proving devastatingly effective against the specialized defenses of pure consortium vessels. "You thought you were uplifting us," Elena said, watching the alien leaders struggle to comprehend what was happening. "Teaching us just enough to be useful servants. But humanity has always learned fastest when backed into a corner. You gave us access to 3 different advanced technological bases and assumed we'd never figure out how to combine them in ways you never imagined." Reports of simultaneous uprisings began flooding in from every consortium facility on Earth. The virus had spread through their entire command and control network, leaving their forces confused and disorganized. Meanwhile, humanity's forces, trained for exactly this scenario, struck with coordinated precision. The calculations, the High Calculator repeated, its silver skin now dull with distress. "Where did we go wrong?" Elena smiled grimly. "You calculated everything except the human factor. Our creativity, our determination, our ability to work together against a common enemy." She gestured at the chaos unfolding around them. "And most importantly, our capacity for patience. 5 years of playing the obedient servants, learning your technologies, finding your weaknesses, all building to this moment." Above them, the first explosions lit up the sky as humanity's hybrid fleet engaged the consortium's orbital defenses. The revolution had begun. And thanks to the virus spreading through their neural networks, the aliens would be unable to effectively coordinate any resistance. The breaking point had arrived, and humanity was ready to show the galaxy exactly what an uplifted species could do when pushed too far. United we stand. The skies above Earth had become a battlefield unlike anything in human or alien history. Commander James Chen stood on the bridge of the hybrid ship Defiance, watching as his fleet engaged the confused consortium forces. The virus had done its work perfectly. The aliens' neural networks were in chaos, their perfectly coordinated battle formations dissolving into individual ships, fighting without proper communication or strategy. Multiple Valerian cruisers approaching from Sector 7. Lieutenant Rodriguez reported from her tactical station. Their crystal matrix weapons are charging, but their targeting systems are compromised. Show them what humanity has learned, James ordered. The Defiance's hybrid weapons powered up. Arcturian plasma cannons modified with Valerian focusing crystals and powered by Meridian organic energy cores. The impossible combination, something the aliens had declared couldn't work, cut through the Valerian ship's defenses like they weren't even there. "Command, this is Ground Team Alpha." Sarah Chen's voice came through their secured communications network. "We've secured the primary consortium administrative center in New Geneva. Dr. Santos is downloading their complete database. You won't believe what we're finding." "Try me," James replied, even as he directed the fleet to protect their newly captured ground facilities. Complete star maps, colony locations, manufacturing center coordinates. Sarah's voice held fierce satisfaction. And something else. Reports of other subjugated species across the galaxy. Seems we weren't the only ones they were uplifting. That news spread quickly through the human forces, adding fuel to their determination. They weren't just fighting for Earth anymore. They were fighting for every species the consortium had enslaved under the guise of advancement. On the ground, the battle was equally decisive. The resistance cells, trained for years in secret, struck at every major consortium facility simultaneously. The aliens' superior technology meant nothing when their command and control systems were in chaos, and their troops had never trained for independent action. Multiple consortium ships attempting to retreat, Rodriguez reported. They're trying to reach their faster-than-light jump points. "Not happening," James replied grimly. "Deploy the inhibitor fields." Another human innovation combining stolen technologies activated, creating zones of distorted space-time that prevented faster-than-light travel. The consortium forces were trapped, forced to fight or surrender to the very species they had dismissed as primitive. "Commander," Dr. Nash's voice cut in urgently, "we're detecting massive energy buildups from the Meridian motherships. I think they're trying to purge the virus by completely resetting their neural networks." "Let them try," Elena Santos responded from her position in New Geneva. "The virus is encoded into their basic biological processors now. A reset will just give it a clean slate to spread faster." The Meridian ships attempted their reset anyway. The result was spectacular. Their organic technology, corrupted at the fundamental level, went into complete shutdown. The massive vessels drifted powerless, their crews unable to even maintain life support without their neural networks. "All consortium forces," James broadcast on all frequencies. "Your neural networks are compromised beyond repair. Your ships are either trapped or disabled. Your ground facilities are under our control. Humanity offers you one chance to surrender." The response came from multiple sources. Arcturian administrators whose perfect calculations had failed them, Valerian commanders whose crystal matrices had been shattered, Meridian controllers whose organic technology had betrayed them. "This is impossible," one Arcturian transmitted. "Our models showed a 99.98% chance of success. The mathematics cannot be wrong." "You calculated everything except the human spirit," James replied. "Our determination, our creativity, our ability to take your separate technologies and combine them in ways you never imagined possible." The surrenders began coming in, first as a trickle, then a flood. The consortium forces, cut off from their central command and facing weapons that shouldn't exist, had no choice. Their perfect systems, their technological superiority, had been turned against them by the very species they had intended to subjugate. "Ground teams reporting in," Sarah announced. "All major Earth facilities are secure. Resistance cells across the planet are moving to Phase 2. securing alien technology and preventing any attempted scorch Earth tactics. Fleet status, James asked, watching the tactical display as more and more consortium ships powered down in surrender. Minor damage to 3 vessels, Rodriguez reported proudly. The hybrid shields performed better than we hoped. The aliens' weapons literally don't know what to do against our combined technologies. James allowed himself a small smile. Humanity had done more than just free themselves. They had proven that the consortium's entire technological philosophy was flawed. The aliens' insistence on keeping their technologies pure and separate had become their greatest weakness when faced with human innovation and adaptability. Begin broadcast to all Earth frequencies, he ordered. Let everyone know that Operation Dawn was a success. Humanity is free. The cheers that erupted across their communications network were deafening. 5 years of preparation, of playing the obedient servants while secretly preparing for this moment, had paid off. The human spirit, combined with stolen and modified alien technology, had accomplished what the consortium had deemed mathematically impossible. And this was just the beginning. With the captured database revealing the locations of other enslaved species, humanity's next steps were clear. They would take the fight to the heart of consortium space, freeing others who had been uplifted into servitude. The galaxy was about to learn that humanity's greatest strength wasn't in their technology or their weapons, but in their unshakable determination to stand united against tyranny, no matter the odds. Dawn of a new era. 1 month after Operation Dawn, humanity gathered in the rebuilt halls of New Geneva. The same chamber that had once showcased consortium power now served as the meeting place for Earth's newly formed Unity Council. Representatives from every former resistance cell sat alongside military commanders and scientific leaders, planning humanity's next steps. Sarah Chen stood at the podium, addressing not just the assembled humans, but also delegations from a dozen formerly enslaved species. The consortium's database had led them to these allies, each with their own stories of uplifting that had really been subjugation. The consortium's empire spanned half the galaxy, Sarah began, her voice carrying clearly through the chamber. They achieved this not through military might alone, but through a systematic process of finding developing civilizations, offering them technological advancement, and slowly turning that gift into chains. She gestured to the diverse gathering. Look around this room. Every species here was told they were being uplifted. Every culture was promised advancement, and every one of us was instead turned into a resource to be exploited. Dr. Elena Santos took her place beside Sarah, bringing up a holographic display of the modified virus that had won them their freedom. But they made one crucial mistake. They assumed that keeping their technologies separate, Arcturian mathematics, Valerian crystals, and Meridian biotech, would prevent any subjugated species from truly understanding their systems. They never imagined we would find ways to combine what they thought could not be merged. The display shifted to show the hybrid ships that had become symbols of human innovation. The Corelli delegation, insectoid beings whose own crystal-based technology had been suppressed by the consortium, clicked their mandibles in appreciation of the design. Humanity offers you more than just freedom, James Chen added from his position among the military leaders. We offer you partnership. The consortium taught us all that true strength lies not in technological purity, but in combination and cooperation. The evidence was undeniable. Human hybrid technology, combining elements from all 3 consortium species, had proven more effective than any pure system. The aliens' own arrogance, their certainty that their ways were superior, had blinded them to the possibilities. We have already begun sharing our advancements, Elena continued. The virus that freed Earth has been modified to liberate consortium facilities across the galaxy. Their neural networks, the system they use to control their empire, has become the very thing that will dismantle it. The chamber erupted in approving sounds from a dozen different species. The Meridian Separatists, a group that had long opposed their species' involvement in the consortium, particularly appreciated the irony. But freedom brings responsibility, Sarah cautioned. The consortium's fall has left a power vacuum in half the galaxy. Already we see signs of their remaining forces trying to regroup, desperately attempting to salvage what they can of their empire. Which is why we propose the formation of the United Species Alliance, James announced. Not an empire built on subjugation, but a true partnership of equals. Each species contributing their unique perspectives and technologies, working together to create something greater than any one civilization could achieve alone. The proposal was met with immediate support. The gathered species had all seen how humanity's willingness to combine technologies and ideas had succeeded where the consortium's rigid purity had failed. They had witnessed firsthand the power of unity and cooperation. We have much to learn from each other, Alina added. Already, our collaborative efforts have produced improvements to the hybrid technology that won us our freedom. Imagine what we can achieve together, without the consortium's restrictions holding us back. The next few hours were spent laying the groundwork for this new alliance. Each species brought their own technologies, their own innovations that had been suppressed under consortium rule. The potential for advancement was staggering. As the session concluded, Sarah stood once more at the podium. 1 month ago, humanity proved that determination and unity could overcome even the most advanced empire. Today, we prove something even more important, that the true path to advancement lies not in one species uplifting another, but in all species rising together. She looked out over the assembled delegates, seeing hope and determination in a dozen different forms of expression. The consortium thought they were creating perfect order through separation and control. Instead, they united their victims against them, and taught us the value of working together. Now it's our turn to show the galaxy what true cooperation can achieve. The dawn of a new era had truly begun. Humanity had not only won their freedom, but had turned their victory into something greater, a chance to build a better future for all species who had suffered under consortium rule. The galaxy would never be the same, and that was exactly what they had fought for. The stars above Earth shone with new possibility, promising not an empire of subjugation, but a future of true partnership and innovation. Humanity had risen, and in doing so, had lifted others with them. The age of the consortium was over. The age of unity had begun.